Baby, you're a firework. Happy birthday, America. We've got another Hodgepodge episode for you on this episode of Convince Me. Welcome in, everybody. I apologize that you could not hear for 20 seconds before we recorded that to hear Mr. Elrod's rendition of Katy Perry's Firework. It would have been much more entertaining than mine, for sure.
Katie is jealous of my beautiful singing voice. Very much so.
I somehow doubt that. Welcome in, everybody. We apologize that, we haven't been here. We weren't able to put out a show last week, but guess what? This week, you're getting two shows. I'm Andrew Rutherford, joined as almost always by Mr. Brian Bennett, Mr. Casey Elrod. Doubleheader this week. Gentlemen, how's it going?
I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm ready. Excited. Let's blow some crap up. Let's do it.
We will blow stuff up, but we will do so safely.
This is true, ladies and gentlemen. If everything goes the way I expect and want it to, which means it probably won't, we are recording this on midday of July 5th. I know it's the day after July 4th, but it's the day we're all off work for July 4th, so it's kind of all in one and the same. Hopefully, you'll be hearing this by tonight on July 5th, but we'll see how that goes. And then we've got another episode coming out for you on Wednesday in our normal time slot to make up for last week. But we are presenting you for the first time in a while. I think Valentine's Day was our last Hodgepodge episode, so it's been a couple months. But a 4th of July, Independence Day, Hodgepodge edition for you guys. And before we jump into that, weekly shield time. I guess this week it's the twice a week shield time. But very briefly, I'm going to go through it quickly. Facebook.com/Convince Me Show, Twitter @Convince Me Show, Instagram Convince Me Show. Make sure you're following us on all of those. Make sure you're subscribed to us over on YouTube, tinyurl.com/Convince Me Show. Every episode, including both of them this week, in their entirety in video format over on the YouTubes. And of course, we are a podcast, so check us out wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. If we're not there, let us know. We'll do what we can to get there. And guys, it's that time of year again. We need your help. Podcastawards.com. Head over there. There's a big button on the main page that you have to register to nominate. Do all that. Just your name, your email, things of that sort. Go to, I don't remember exactly what the category is called. We'll do a step-by-step thing before the deadline. But go over there. There's a best overall show category. We're in that. More importantly, there's the Rob Has a Podcast entertainment category. Make sure you go over there, click on Convince Me, submit that. Last year we were nominated, didn't even come close. This year we're nominated. We want to come a little bit closer while still not coming close. And we need you guys to do that. Show us proof you did it. Maybe you'll be entered for something pretty cool. Not exactly sure the details of that yet, but we'll do something for you. Just guys, help us out. Podcastawards.com. Get over there. Vote for us. Vote for your other favorite podcasts in their respective categories, as long as they're not in direct competition with us. And if they're in direct competition with us, I don't want you ever listening to them again. But, free country, do what you want. Podcastawards.com. All right, guys. We got 6 mini topics today. It's 4th of July. It's the 5th of July, technically. But like I said, we're off work today, so it counts. It's America's birthday. We all, I assume, enjoyed ourselves yesterday in celebration. And today we're going to look at some topics that go along with the holiday. And in our first topic, we have Mr. Elrod versus Mr. Bennett. And I want to look at something that some people will tell you is hardcore one way. Some people will tell you a hardcore another way, but wearing the American flag on your clothing as a cape, on anything. Some people say that's disrespectful to the flag, and some people say that's expected on the 4th of July. That's patriotic. Elrod, you're up first. Tell us why it's disrespectful.
Right, as you know, I'm all about the rules. I'm a rule follower. United States Flag Code 4, U.S. Code Section 8. The flag should never touch anything beneath it, such as the ground, the floor. It should never be on any merchandise. The flag should never be carried flat or horizontally. It should always be aloft and free. If George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, if they could see some of the things the American flag is on today, they would have ripped up the Declaration of Independence in 1776, and we would still be under British rule. So, if you're going to have rules, follow it. Follow the rules. And that, my friend, is you have the American flag and you don't put it on anything else. Simple.
Bennett, counterpoint.
Okay, so while that is flag etiquette and it is in the flag code, it's not necessarily a rule. It's not a law. It's not punishable. You're not going to get 25 years to life if you walk down a road with a flag on. I think it's okay to do so, but it has to be appropriate for the occasion. This is what makes us Americans. Other countries don't understand why we wear t-shirts with a flag on it or whatever, hats, and whatever. But that's the good thing. We don't want other countries to figure us out. We want to be one step ahead. Now, I'm not really saying that we should go and grab a flag off a flagpole and wear it. To me, that is disrespectful. But look at it this way. We wear our favorite team, if you're a Vols fan or a 49ers fan, you wear that. You're proud of that. You want everybody else to know that you're proud of your team. Well, America is all of our team, and we need to show our support and our pride. As long as we do so without actually grabbing a flag and wearing it around your head or something, that's just ridiculous. But I don't see nothing wrong with wearing a emblem showing the flag. Oh, what about a pin? What about a pin that you see like figures like in the White House wear the little
You
American
can wear a pin. No, that's acceptable. You can do that, but not like a t-shirt flag.
Wow.
or a blazer flag. You know what I mean?
What's the difference?
It's about how it's presented. Like if you're wearing a t-shirt flag, you cut the flag to put your head through. So you cut the flag. Does that make sense? A pin, you do not cut the flag.
But if you wear it as a cape, you're not cutting it.
As long as it's done tastefully, I think it's okay.
Yeah, you can, as long as you're not destructing the flag, then you can do it. But with a shirt, you theoretically and logically had to cut a hole in the flag. And that's what you see.
My thing is, I'm a little conflicted because, like Elrod, I'm someone that knows there are rules. If you're going to fly your flag, you fly it with the stars in the upper left corner, whether it's horizontal or vertical. You got to have your stars in the upper left corner or it's wrong. And I am one of those douchebags that's the first person to point that out when I see that. There are rules. Rules are meant to be followed. But I'm also a big proponent of supporting your loyalties and showing those loyalties. I am loyal to Convince Me. Therefore, I wear a Convince Me hat, and I wear it on the show. I'm loyal to my sport teams. I wear that stuff just like Bennett said. So I kind of fall in the middle here. I will say this, but great arguments by both sides. I agree with both sides. I'm going to go with Bennett here, and here's why. I'm not one of those that thinks that the Constitution and the founding fathers and everything they did was law and should continue that exact way forever. But I'm also not one of those that think that it's all outdated and we should change it all. But I do think it needs to be respectful, like Bennett said. But I think not wearing it, not putting on merchandise. This is 2021. Everything's on merchandise. How many people, when face masks starting becoming a requirement, how many logos, how many brands, how many companies did the best they could to get their logo on a face mask? Everything's about merchandising nowadays. I'm gonna go with Bennett, but Elrod, I agree with you as well.
Thanks, Vince McMahon. He commercialized everything.
More like Gene Simmons, but anyway.
All right. Next topic is one that I'm going to love. We have, of course, we're going to talk more about the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest in a minute, but we had Joey Chestnut yesterday gobbling down 76 hot dogs. You got hot dogs and you got hamburgers. Which are better? Or what is better? A hot dog or a hamburger? And Bennett, why is a hot dog better?
Why is a hot dog better?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you look at it, you have it's the middle of summer. You know, you're out at a grill, or you're out at a ball game, or maybe you're at a bonfire, or maybe even you're at home by yourself watching King of the Hill. Any of these instances, it's okay to eat a hot dog because a hot dog is versatile. You can microwave it, you can boil it, you can grill it, or my personal favorite, you can cook it over a fire. Just get it absolutely charred and blackened. Something as versatile as a hot dog represents America and how versatile we are as Americans. We all come from different backgrounds. We all walk different shapes and sizes, like a hot dog, but together we're all doing the same thing and we're enjoying a hot dog. So you think of it, it has to be a hot dog. You know, we're not talking about a Polish sausage or a bratwurst, a good old American all beef hot dog.
Right? Why is it a hamburger?
I got no disrespect to hot dogs. Let me just point that out. A hot dog is a great sandwich. We have discussed that on other episodes. But here's the thing, and there's no better food for a better setting than a hot dog at a baseball game. So I have zero disrespect for hot dogs, but here's my thing with hot dogs. Say you're at a random place and you get a hot dog. What's in that? You don't know. It could be beef, it could be pork, it could be chicken guts, it could be a dog turd. I don't know what's in it. It's a hot dog and there's no universal ingredients of a hot dog. What's in a hamburger? Beef. It's universal. And here's the thing, I like a good hot dog, but you tell me the best hamburger you've ever had and the best hot dog you've ever had, what's better? If you say it's a hot dog, you a lie, because the best hamburger is going to beat the best hot dog. You think of the worst hamburger you've ever had. It was probably kind of gross. You think about the worst hot dog you've ever had. It was more than kind of gross. It was awful. So the best of the best, you're going hamburger is the best. Worst of the worst, you're going hot dog is the worst. Now, that's no disrespect to hot dog, but there is nothing more just satisfying than a top end elite burger with whatever toppings you like, the cheese, the ketchup, the mustard, the mayo, the onion, the whatever. But here's the thing. Jimmy Buffett never wrote a song about a dadgum hot dog. He just didn't. The only song I can think of about a hot dog is not one. You even look at Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Take Me Out to the Ball Game is such a classic. Hot dogs are associated with baseball. Whoever wrote that song wanted peanuts and Cracker Jacks. They didn't say nothing about a hot dog. Jimmy Buffett wrote a song called Cheeseburger in Paradise. That connects burger with heaven. That's what that does. And just, it's the ultimate. No disrespect to hot dogs, but if we're picking between the two, the choice is obvious. It's a burger.
Elrod, real quick. There is a song about hot dog. Mickey Mouse.
Say that Mickey Mouse song.
Hot dog, hot diggity dog. And Mickey Mouse is about as American as it gets.
There is, okay,
Maybe.
this is the judgment right here. There is nothing in this world more overrated than a hot dog. I have had a Wrigley dog. It was okay. But I'm with Rod. The best cheeseburger I've ever had dwarfs anything with a hot dog.
I agree with your general sentiments, but a Wrigley dog's actually pretty dang good.
It's good, but it's not better than a good hamburger.
Well, that's what I said. The best hot dog in the world doesn't have a choice against the best hamburger in the world. But
Yeah, but what I'm saying is even a mediocre cheeseburger is better than the best hot dog.
I don't know. I need to taste this.
Judgment for Rod.
Am I sitting here arguing my win? Because I feel like I am. But
I think you
I
are.
don't completely agree with your overview. I think you're disrespecting
I
the hot dog.
gave you
a
the
little
win
too
and
much.
you're arguing with me. I may go the other way. And I'm going that way because of the next subtopic that we've got. See, I have to do this because I have a very good position on the next topic that we're discussing.
I thought you only liked one-liner jokes and you didn't like to think things out in advance. You guys will have to listen to our next episode that we shot out of order to get that joke. But Bennett, continue.
So with the theme of 4th of July, you shoot your fireworks, but you also tune in to ESPN and watch the Nathan hot dog eating contest to see if Joey Chestnut will break his record every year. So, and that leads us to the question, is eating hot dogs or even professional eating in general, is that a sport? Rod, we'll start with you. Is hot dogs a sport? Eating hot dogs a sport?
It absolutely is. And here's why. And that's why Joey Chestnut is so overlooked for what he has done for that sport and for this country. You missed the days of Joey Chestnut versus Kobayashi because Kobayashi couldn't cut it. Now it's Joey Chestnut versus his previous records. But it's absolutely a sport, and here's why. Not everybody can do it, which has been shown year after year after year. When a guy, I said yesterday after watching the hot dog eating contest, I feel terrible for the guy that finished second because that dude just downed 52 hot dogs in 10 minutes, is miserable, and still lost by 25. He gets nothing and nobody cares, but not everybody can do it. You have to condition your body for it. You have to practice. You have to know the techniques. You've got to condition your body for it. Just like any other sport, you've got to prepare. You've got to put the work in to be able to do it. And see, here's my thing. I've caught heat for a long time because I say cheerleading's not a sport because it's not. There's no competing, and when you do compete, there's no defined way to win. It's all up to judges. There's no defined way to win. There's a defined way to win a hot dog contest. You eat more dang hot dogs than anybody else that's competing. There's a score. There's a way to win. There's no shady judges. It's did you eat more hot dogs than the other person? That competition is there with a clear-cut winner. Not everybody can do it. You've got to condition your body to do it. What other aspect do you need to look at? It's absolutely a sport.
All right, you look disgusted over there.
I am disgusted by more ways than one. By its very definition, a sport requires some sort of athletic ability or skill, none of which is involved in a hot dog eating contest. And here's why. Here's why, Bennett. If you have ever watched the hot dog eating contest, the people that finish up toward the top are not, okay, a hot dog. What does a hot dog consist of? What two things?
We don't know. Mechanically separated chicken parts.
Meat and a bun. The people that win the hot dog eating contest are not eating hot dogs as we know it. They're taking it apart. They're eating the hot dog. They're eating the meat. They're taking they're taking the bun and dipping it in water. They're not eating a hot dog. They are not. They are not eating a hot dog as we know it. They're not. It's not a hot dog eating contest. It's basically they're taking its parts and eating it separately. They're not even eating it the correct way. The people that are finishing up toward the top, and you know it. Look, you know it, and I know it. There is no athletic ability required in this sport. There is no skill required in this sport. I use sport loosely. They're not even eating a hot dog correctly. So it's not a sport. Not a sport. Hey, I should get the win just for that demonstration.
If you're listening to the podcast, you've got to watch this on YouTube. That's all I'm going to say. I don't even know what you said. I don't even know what your argument was because I was laughing too hard.
It was a compelling argument. Here's how I see it. You know, with a hot dog eating contest, you know how you were talking about how they were taking the hot dog apart from the bun and everything. That's strategy. That's how it's evolved over time. You know, these people do train to do this, and it is competitive. It really is, you know, and like I said, there is a definitive winner. You know what's not a sport, and that's dog show contest, because how do you choose which dog is the best looking dog? You know, that's all subjective. But this, okay, Kobayashi eats 60 and Joey Chestnut eats 74. He wins, you know, where although it's not conventional, you know, I kind of think of it as almost like, you know, what about like NASCAR and racing? Would you consider that a sport? Because, you know, it's the same, it's kind of the same thing, you know, you can debate or not, you know, there's no score getting kept up, you know, this or that. It's all into one. But I say all that to say, yeah, I do think it's a very unconventional sport. It's one you'd see on ESPN, the Ocho, but it is a sport.
All right. There we go. We're halfway through. We're pushing through. Elrod has been wrong a lot in the beginning, but let's see if he can bounce back here. Because when we talk about America, when we talk about the 4th of July, we talk about the summertime, you think baseball. It's America's favorite pastime. It has been for a long time, but you know, there seems to have been in the last couple decades that baseball maybe not as popular as it used to be. Maybe football's on the rise. Maybe people care more about football than they do baseball anymore. There's still a lot of purists out there that are baseball people. I want to know, sitting in 2021, I want to know, what is America's sport? Is it baseball, or is it hot dog eating contests, or is it football? So Bennett, I'm going to start with you. Tell me why America's sport is still baseball.
Well, the biggest thing to me why America's sport is still baseball, you can't deny that basketball is on the rise, football is on the rise, but baseball, you know, is committed to its roots, to its core, and I still think that's what America's grounded on. Baseball gives you an equal opportunity. Look in a dugout of any Major League Baseball team, you see many, many, many countries represented, not just Americans out there. You have people from all over the world, Japan, Spain, everywhere, Mexico, Dominican Republic. Everybody represents a team. And that's kind of what America is, you know, when you think about it. Another thing I think of is the minor league system. You have people working their way up, chasing your dreams. You don't have like in football and basketball where you only go to college so you're preparing yourself to get ready to go pro. You have to really work your way up in baseball. Nothing is handed to you, nothing is given to you. Baseball starts in the spring, goes through the summer, and lasts until the fall. So really you have baseball, in all many different parts of the year. It lasts the whole time. With baseball, you don't have a time limit. You can just sit back and relax and watch the game. You don't have to worry about hurrying up and getting the game over with, this or that. There's no penalties, like you have with football and basketball. And the biggest thing with baseball, it shows that you can fail, and you can fail a lot, and you're still considered to be a successful person. Look at some of the greatest hitters that have ever played the sport of baseball in over 100 years that it's been around. You can fail 70% of the time as a hitter, and you're still considered among the best at your profession. And to finish it off, to me, the home run will always be greater than a touchdown every time. So baseball is still America's sport.
All right. Why is it football?
The great Howie Long, the great Oakland Raider, Fox Sports analyst Howie Long said it best. Baseball is America's pastime, but football is America's passion. Now, baseball for the first, I would say, 3/4 of the 20th century was America's sport. But as you know, with the leadership change later on toward 2000 with Seeley going to Manfred, he is single-handedly ruining baseball right now, ruining the sport with the gimmick. One thing about baseball that I love is the rules. The rules, for the most part, have been the same in 150 years. In the last 10 years, there have been so many changes to the sport. Then putting a runner on second base in the 10th inning, a sport that was built not on gimmicks. We're not going to do gimmicks, are going totally against its DNA. And it has ruined watching the sport, them changing the baseballs. Can you imagine if they just totally revamped the footballs every year, what that would do to the NFL? They are doing that in baseball right now. So maybe baseball at one time was America's pastime, but the viewership, the ratings, the craving for football that we have 24 hours a day, NFL Network, college football, high school football. Texas, they're building stadiums for 30,000 people for high schools in Texas. Football, especially down south and even up north in Ohio, Michigan, has overtaken baseball as the true American passion and the American sport. Thanks in part to baseball's own doing.
Elrod, I agree. I am not a fan of Rob Manfred at all. There was a time I thought Bud Selig sucked. And now I'd like Bud Selig back, please. Because I thought he was crazy when he made the All-Star game mean something that one time. And that's really the only fundamental change that Selig made to the game, whereas Manfred's come in to try to make it more watchable. But really all he's doing is pissing off his hardcores. A lot of what NASCAR has done in the last 10 years. And I completely agree. I don't like where baseball's gone the last 10 years, but football has made changes too. Granted, some of theirs for safety reasons. I get it. I'm not going to complain about that. They haven't done anything to speed up the game or make it more watchable. And when you look at ratings, you're right. More people watch football than baseball. But some of that I think is attributed to the time of year. More people are at home in the fall and the winter than out doing things like they are in the summer. And if we look at this purely based on the arguments, Elrod, you make a heck of an argument. You make a compelling point. But to me, there is nothing still, and this is my personal opinion, and I may be wrong and I may be screwing you here. And if so, for once, the only time I've screwed you on the show, I'll apologize for it. I'm sorry. But to me, there's still nothing more American than a hot summer day with a hot dog at a ballpark. I still prefer a burger, but at a ballpark, a hot dog, get some peanuts to last you after, that hot dog lasts you 3 pitches. Um, there's nothing more American than that.
There's nothing more American than sitting with 5,000 other Oakland A fans in a football stadium when they're in the middle of a pennant race. Hey, you're right. Nothing more American than that.
There are not 5,000 Oakland A fans, first of all. That's why they're leaving Oakland. But same reason the Raiders left. Elrod, you actually make a better argument. I'm still giving it to Bennett just because I love football. I will never say football is better than baseball. And I still think baseball is America's sport to the purists, although Rob Manfred is doing everything in his power to kill that for the rest of us.
All right. I'm 0 for 3. 0 for 3. Batting 0. Okay. We talked
You're
about
an Oakland A.
Yeah, just like the Oakland A's or Chicago Cubs. Fireworks. Do you like to shoot your own, or do you go to a show? And we're going to start off with Rut. Why do you shoot your own fireworks?
Because I like fire. No, here's the thing. Fireworks shows are cool. They're great. They are what they are. But you're just an observer, man. You're just an observer. Think of when you shoot your own fireworks, think of the investment you're putting into that. You are spending your hard-earned money to buy fireworks for 4 times what they're actually worth. If you go at the right time, very late on July 4th, you can probably talk them down to double what they're actually worth. But look at it this way. When you shoot your own fireworks, man, you get to put on whatever kind of show you want. You like mortar shells? You can buy mortar shells and nothing else. You like the big box fireworks? You can get that. Maybe you like to shoot Roman candles and bottle rockets at your friends to make them jump and scream and scare them to death. Maybe you like to have wars with them. You get to pick what you want to do. You're investing your money. You're investing your time because you've got to come up with a game plan in your head. All right, we're going to shoot all the crappy stuff that came in this box first, right before it gets dark, so we can get those out of the way. You get to set up your own finale. This one's going to be the best. This one's going to do this. There's the risk factor involved that gives you that adrenaline rush when you shoot your own fireworks. Maybe you're going to blow your hand off. Maybe your pants are going to catch fire when you can't get that fuse to light. Maybe you spent $300 on this big box of fireworks and it ends up being a dud. There's that risk involved that when it does come off the way it's supposed to, when that magnificent huge box you bought is exactly what you thought it would be and it caps off your night and you still have all your limbs intact, that there's no more satisfying a feeling than to be able to pull all that off. There's just so much more investment into shooting your own, investment of your money, investment of your time, and in investment of your health in order to get that high you get from that risk factor when you don't die or burn yourself.
You're right.
You got to shoot your own fireworks.
Investment of your limbs. Okay. Bennett, why is it better to go to a show rather than to blow up your own arms?
Maybe 10 or 15 years ago, I would agree, and I would say I want to shoot off my own. But today, as a dad, 2 kids, it's not worth it to me. We already have a budget, and it's just too expensive and way too dangerous for this to add. We live here in the South, so we're all to a certain degree redneck. We like things that are shiny and go boom. And that's exactly what you do. And you'll see if you go to a fireworks show instead of shooting them off yourself. Do you want to spend $300 on one thing where you light it and it goes up in the air and it makes one little bitty boom and it's over with? Or do you want to load up in your car with your family, go be with other families and watch this incredible show? Where we're from, like just last night, I watched a great fireworks show with my family, and it was the second biggest fireworks show in Tennessee, and it was absolutely free. Whenever you go to a fireworks show, the fireworks they're bigger, they're better. It's more convenient just to hop in your car and go. And when it's over with, you leave. You don't have to clean up. You don't have to plan. It's very simple and to the point. It's cheaper and it is safer and more risk free. I don't like taking the risk of losing a limb.
I like it.
Family depends on me to make sure I have all my fingers. So for me, it just makes more sense to go watch it.
I'm about to say something really controversial for the pro firework crowd. As I get older, I don't really care about fireworks anymore. Either way, like they don't amaze me. I used to be in awe of them. I'm not anymore. Like I don't get up for them anymore. But I'm with you, Bennett. If I don't want to spend $400 on something that's going to blow up in 20 minutes and may suck, I may get soda done. I want to go that for free, see better fireworks. Bennett takes this round. Just not impressed.
You live life with no risk and no danger.
That's risk.
Shameful.
I like my limbs.
Hey, I've been shooting my own fireworks for 30 years. I've got 10 fingers and 9 toes. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. And much like a fireworks show, we are up to our grand finale, and it's a good one. We're going to talk about who is the greatest American icon. Is it Hulk Hogan, the Hulkster, or is it Rocky Balboa? Elrod, start us off. Tell me who is the biggest icon. Is it Hulk Hogan?
This is kind of a spinoff of one of our shows, or two of our shows. It's Rocky Balboa. Here's why. Rocky Balboa is 100 times more American than Hulk Hogan ever was. He just is. He put the entire country on his shoulder, and he brought about the demise of the Soviet Union when he beat Drago. I almost forgot his name. When he beat Drago in '84, he single-handedly brought down the Soviets himself. After they killed Apollo Creed, after he killed Apollo, he got revenge himself. What has Hulk Hogan done in his life that even comes close to that? Nothing. Hulk Hogan is not anywhere in the same stratosphere as Rocky Balboa. Rocky Balboa has his own statue in Philadelphia. Rocky Balboa is a fictional character. He's a fictional character, and he's twice the American that Hulk Hogan ever thought about being.
Tell me why it's Hulk Hogan.
Let me tell you something, dude. Rocky had a fantastic fight against Drago. Kudos. One fight against one evil foreign menace, and he won. Completely fictional. It's a movie. Let's look at the Hulk Hogan's track record standing up for this country, shall we? WrestleMania 1 against the Scottish Rowdy Roddy Piper, who may or may not have actually been from Canada, but he was representing Scotland in that fight. Who came out on top? Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. What about WrestleMania 3, brother? Hulk Hogan against that big French man, Andre the Giant. Did the Giant just stomp Hulk Hogan? No, he did not. Hulk Hogan body slammed that big Frenchman, dropped a leg, and ended it. What about WrestleMania 7? Sergeant Slaughter turned his back on this country for real and became an Iraqi sympathizer. And he took the World Wrestling Federation Championship and wanted to turn it over to Iraq. Who was the man that donned the red, white, and blue that night to come out and take that title back from Sergeant Slaughter? Oh, yeah, it was Hulk Hogan. And then you go to WrestleMania 9, when that evil Japanese menace, Yokozuna, his manager threw salt in the eyes of Bret the Hitman Hart, and he stole the title. Who was the man to stand up for America and the Canadian guy, Bret Hart, and take down that big Japanese guy that was actually Samoan, but he looked Japanese and represented Japan. That was Hulk Hogan, whose theme song said something along the lines of, when it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, you got to take a stand. He's a real American. His WCW theme song says he's got the red, white, and blue running through his veins. He was born and raised in the US of A. He's American made. Come on. Rocky? Really? This isn't your Stallone versus Schwarzenegger argument where you just said Rocky 27 times and happened to win. That ain't going to cut it here against a real competitor like Hulk Hogan, brother. Yeah, Rocky beat Drago. Good for him in a fake movie. Look at the real stuff. Look at what Hulk Hogan did for this country.
Oh, the real stuff? Real stuff?
In the first 9 WrestleManias alone, he took down Scotland, he took down France, he took down Iraq, and he took down Japan. What you gonna do, brother, when Hulkamania runs wild on your little movie star and you?
Rutt uses professional wrestling and the word real in the same sentence. Something just doesn't seem very odd about that.
But that was a very good argument. Very, very knowledgeable, of course. The one thing that Hogan did, though, was he turned his back on all the little Hulkamaniacs.
He did. Rocky never did.
He turned heel on them.
Well, sometimes,
and he betrayed them.
And here's another point I forgot to point out. How intimidating is Rocky when he says something to you?
That's Drago. Drago will tell you.
That's not intimidating.
Ask Mr. T.
What you
Ask
do?
Apollo Creed.
Mr. T?
Yeah.
Mr. T was so afraid of Hulk Hogan, he wouldn't even fight him, so he was his tag team partner at WrestleMania. Mr. T fears Hulk Hogan.
Oh, so Hogan pulls a LeBron and teams up with Mr. T. Okay.
You know, Rocky was so influential that he inspired Rambo to be like Rocky.
He did.
You know, I don't know. I can't not root for the underdog. Everybody loves an underdog, and Rocky was the ultimate underdog. So this last one, I'm gonna have to go Rocky. Elrod skates by with Rocky again.
Here we go. 2 for 2, baby. 2 for 2.
Well, you know,
No more Rocky shows for Elrod.
you're all right. There's gonna be a turn coming soon. You just wait when Apollo's son comes out to help Rocky and then turns on him and pulls off his shirt and he's got on an NWO shirt. Then we'll see who the real man is.
We'll see. We shall see.
All right, guys. Well, Elrod did get a win this week. This Hodgepodge episode, Bennett took the show going 3-1. Myself, a modest 2-2. Should have been 3-1. I disagree with Bennett's stance here. You know, I'll take the loss in fireworks. You know, some people aren't risky enough. Some people like their limbs and will do everything to keep them. I think if you're not risking them, why even have them? But that's just me. I realize that's not a popular opinion. But, you know, it is what it is. The decisions here are final. And we thank you guys for joining us on America's birthday, the first of 2 episodes this week. I hope you all are enjoying this day off. I hope you guys will join us in 2 days. As long as there's no technical difficulties, in 2 days, we will be back looking at Jay Leno versus David Letterman. And that one, I can tell you, is going to be a good show. And I know that because we recorded these out of order. But that one's a good one. Make sure you check that one out. Make sure you check out our socials. More importantly, right now than even our socials, make sure you head over to podcastawards.com. Show us a little bit of love. And let us lose a little more gracefully this year. That would be very much appreciated. Bennett, Elrod, any parting words?
2 for 2 with Rocky. I'm okay. You know, I batted one for 3 today. I'm going to Cooperstown, baby. 1 for 3. 333 will always get you.
You were 250. You were 1 for 4. You lost 3.
Oh, well, math was never my strong suit, so. $250 is not bad. $250 will get you back on the major league team.
Won't get you in the Hall of Fame.
It will not.
Bennett, parting words from you.
Yeah, hamburgers are better than hot dogs. Fireworks shows are better when watched instead of risking your life. You can wear flags on your clothing. Hot dog eating is a sport.
Yes.
Baseball is still our pastime. And Rocky Hogan, yeah, I'll go Rocky just for the underdog. But
well, you deserve a leg drop for that one, my friend. All right, guys. Bennett deserves a leg drop. You go to podcastawards.com and leg drop that register button. Make sure you're voting for us. We'll see you in 2 days. Until then, we are Convince Me. Peace.